We've talked about a pension crisis in this country for a long, long time. The problem has been that the municipalities, the states, and even private corporations have promised pensions for a long time. Now, private corporations pretty much put a freeze on pensions maybe about 15 to 20 years ago when they came up with the 401k plans, where every individual investor now has to fund his or her own retirement. But if you work for the state, if you work for a municipality, and we'll include the U.S. government as well, then you pretty much had a pension promised to you when you retired. Now, the federal government, they're in a very unique position. They can print money till the cows come home. Anybody who works for the federal government, their pension's pretty safe because the government will continue to print money no matter what happens. So that leaves the municipal workers, the state workers, and the states are having a big problem. Local municipalities are having a big problem. Why? Because they've invested money in the market, but unfortunately the fees that they've paid for some of the exotic types of money managers that they've hired to try to improve their lot have been very expensive failures. Paying fees in some cases as much as 12% to get performance that really hasn't been there. But what's happening is there's a bill going through Congress right now which is going to change the accounting method for municipalities and for pension funds. And what it's going to do is, based upon the way this number is going to be read, it's actually going to increase the pension crisis probably by about $2 trillion. At least that's what the estimates are. And so based upon that, there could be a real big problem. There's a bubble. And what happens with any bubble is it explodes at some point. We've seen bubbles in 1987. We saw bubbles in 93. A big bubble, the tech bubble, which we kind of remember back in 2000, and then the housing bubble in 2008. The market's had a great recovery. We've had 9, maybe 9.5 years of good markets. It has not bailed out any of the state or local municipal pension funds. And the obligations that these pension funds have, where they have not been able to make up any of the difference, any of that shortfall in their unfunded liability with their pensions, is going to create a problem. We hope it never happens, but we're afraid that this bubble is going to burst too. And it's going to be kind of a domino effect, because when one municipality can't pay its pensioners, and what I mean by that is not pay the full promised pension, but cut that pension payment to them. And if they can't do it, it's going to be kind of like a domino theory. Each municipality in some states kind of falling into line, if you would, cutting pension benefits because the states can't afford it. What do? If you're given the opportunity to get a lump sum distribution from your employer, whether it be private, whether it be the state, take it and run. Take that money and let somebody manage it. Put it into guaranteed investments that'll pay that pension, creating a new pension for both you and your spouse. And whatever gets left over will go to your beneficiaries. We think that's a smarter way to handle this pension crisis. Don't let that bubble burst, because at some point when this market starts going down, these corporations, these states, these municipalities are going to be in big trouble. And we don't want to say we told you so, but unfortunately, it's going to happen. So be prepared, be careful. Thank you.
All of us at Secure Retirement Strategies sincerely hope that you have found this podcast informative. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call at 866-481-5211. You can also visit us on the web at srsstrategies.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, and you can also find this podcast in audio-only format on iTunes. Thanks.